got some more major issue be Odawna drains now. Na me ankasa me be minister in chair. Na me be no the second trip out of the office. Me ba Odawna stretch. Better man behind me. I'm say you could never be crying now. You from the other side. And and you know, I fear my baby tea. What the problem is? Na ya koshe. Into the area na bibi oha na ya ka. Mo MP oba my office. I'm say idea ehia no. Me ankasa so no. Idea ehia me. Until I make I say that was my second trip yeah me baby here because I feel be isuta na eyu na I buy one shade be yeah said the yeah this perennial flooding is so better na I buy one na famudie yen so am kran so over ya famudie Odawna na ade ba ko a yema nsuo eyi wo han ene yen ya de bia so ya na yetoto solid waste egum so nti ye no so no aban ye na edwuma na ese ye no so akra so no bi hu se ye so ye wo asade wo ma ese nso ye se de be a ye yi efin engu ene se baby am free ba Gana near branty beer. On your plastic waste, no. I say, no. Yeah, you have to acquire no assessor, no process. Now they are blocks, not yet they sit down. When you idea ministry, no. Yeah, by drinking, near her coin for so. It's so. Say, yeah, your team sana. Na you waste no. They are command on so they are. But a brave beer, na baby team, a kakasi palma. Yeah, I buy a buono. Yes, so yes, yes, so no. Money be maybe a honey cacra. The end to be a film with the drinks. You soon as a firm and yet solid waste. But the rest of the team, we are near cost side to us.
Sir, you should not talk pep. Now I started flooding. Haddy Nan is there, but here, who said level no, and now a woman. The honey now is covered. Yo, indeed. I know the how be brave, young members in our Hano control board casting in Yoma, na ya cadi brave. Indeed, Yahoy Akosusa said, I am MP Ancasa, Nenitia, Bribiano Baha, on the embed home come up, and I did them a one about touching or the young one for 2 in my area whom crack and I did the coy, send a bear. On the Buama, on ye got an aquatum, Korle no. But on why you got an aqua fine, it be see her. Now a cat near a bit in aqua joining aquatu Korle no. And okay, information said, only ye casting a walk fine on Baba. But when I said, what an aqua Korle no more. Korle nini, in sure no quantity direct to say, instead someone slanting a cacrano. Nti slantin say na nsuo no a ebe ne nyina betumi ene ne nyina akobet ekokko born direct sa no a eba na e push no abenachi nti tambia no na nsuo no be chi sa na flood ena de nti say omo ba yesa no a ombo ma de so omo be slanti gota na kobokole no mu say na ba ya ebetumi ene ne nyina atumi akọ na the matter of say ye waste ye to ne magu Korle no mu no Mr. said, a Southway, a scratch of dealers, no. Make a report to Emma, 1 penny for with Chiroho on 2 occasions. Who shall Korle no fridge, a chirena, Omutuno, Bone said, more than 2 Korle no. A woman, but almost about 12. My report to Man Chem said, if you allow you, Banam said no. 1 year, I didn't feed free in Papa no more years scraps now. Normally a chireno, attitude, Korle no. Nti mbesre se nka obeyi so crash power na kwa hwe se sa nyama ekosu ina no ombejai wachichichichi wires echichi wohwɛ kɔle nsuo na no ho nyinaa hyehye ayɛ wɔn hyehye wire nneɛma hyehye basa tie na ade na wɔn yiyi dadeɛ na ɛwɔ mu no nti ama hɔ no nyinaa yɛ basaa nti sɛdeɛ ɛkɔ so no nanka motumi stop wɔn saa no a saa ne mu nyinaa no bɛtumi agyae
minister ne ɔna flooding ne deɛ ɛm sɛ ɛha yɛ yie papa within a year they have it for more than 10 times na ade ba ko ha me say had is so to within an hour na half flat continues 1 hour anya month January cry so to it me and the month be so to it me they say we ya ba 4 months in so to the very day so to heavy bia have yi and the moment is also tough ebu a so tough aburi na akra so to we say got 9 ma na dey ba ko say since I'm say Chamaron started you get a free I believe free so 2001 President Kufuor twice we did 8 years President Kufuor by young flood bia Odawna every year bia no team the name was only team so only san yan yan truck so no je gun na kutu but this are ti go tenu ma yes and the anyana gu banks no e so to na san nyina san na go gum ade ba ko so ma hu say this are say the ti go tenu na nya proper machine bi da bia mi nya phone bia na me kasa machine bi na ye friend water master ne de ona mo mesrem say mo ti go to bia mu ada say pona no a ayi bi entimi sim na ha no de e say waste of money ona will water master gira na so de gira be say ha otia no de be gu ha tell wo hu so ne keke de mi mo say President Kufuor time no ko ye ko sin wana ko ta na no won ye ba bia caterpillar timi sim it is a ti ayina na sase no entima sa caterpillar be pia anwan nyina ko wansa de machine no asa hwe ye ko sisi a railway line o se channel na m3 emutimi sia on tia on ntimi nti mane kwahye enti so nto kakra bia akopim bridge na ese sanage edona bo se asema me kasa mo beti pa so on ntimi on ma caterpillar sim on ye ayina concrete wase we got an episode about 18 or 20 feet. To see how we call cafe. A mercy cra, a diete, and yanny the gubans now. It's on toy, and I said, we did a creme, a mercy. Yet see, and yanny answers, it's so to 1 2 3. What's got more sense?
Yes, share speaking a brewer, a banya. In Sota, in Siono, a bar, a brown color. Anytime I got an in silver to be it's only by a brown color. Brown color nature say a anya and a airban. It's a tigata man, na say in Sota, then in Soto premium, a Messiah Mabio. Once after Sugatana, yeah, it's a middle part in 20 years constructed. A chair ebony and constructed here. It is earth no and a ebano as sand no. And the best so na Danny Anya. Na afi ya betiti de bia. Developers are omo develop no. Omo ya, omo twetwa ndua nyina. Omo ndua bebi utu kwanko bebi wa bo se omo banks nya even for efu a e better. If say emma amia emba nsoto a emfa amia emba data sini. Ena ye ba ha no so a tama ye gata no they constructed gata no we share railway line na train fast na go say senate no fitititi no sanete ya anya hwe wo ho nti sensuo no to a agbegbosi akọ no ohon shedan Friday by ye had a Friday because railway line no e ba ensuo ni ba eyi ni beam no e wo from e na tokro no sususa nti e ba na e pim no na anase nyoma kosi kwan na ye ha na Friday first nti Friday akwa na kodu asnam down na afi spread ko nti so na eto normally na eto wo upstream na ena saniba se enya chance wo Sodom and Gomorrah no aye old Fadama area enya chance anko epunum a na che Sunday chiba kakaka ena afi so ebo between 4 and 5 and you may be no tide so epono epushi ba obo se na nsuo ne san n'akyi ba nti anytime a nsuo bɛtɔ wɔ sea no a nsuo bɛtɔ wɔ ha no yɛnya big flood.
Yes, indeed, this area floods every year. We don't suffers from perennial flooding, and that's why government has been making the effort to put in the necessary measures so that the flooding will be mitigated. Now, with the issue of dredging, he referred to dredging with excavators entering the drain to dredge. We use the excavators, if you remember, if all of you will remember, when the drain was full, and even cattle could just walk and cross it. And so it was possible for a machine to enter and dredge it. But after dredge masters had dredged, in 2016, after the flood in 2015, and they continue to dredge, there's always water in the channel. And so no machine can enter, excavator can enter the channel and dredge when the water level is very high. The water will enter the engine. And so the use of the water master is something that is very, very helpful. We monitor what they do. It is not that they don't do the work well. Because the channel is very wide, that is why they will move the material from the center to the edge of the drain, and then an excavator will lift it out from the drain, and then they will cut it out. You know that they don't leave the material on the bank of the drain. Yes, indeed, I agree fully with the assemblyman. If Honorable will be going out so that you have a look at the situation. The railway bridge, the clearance is very low. And so when it rains, and then although it's a little bit, the water level is a little bit high to the surface of the bridge, then the water hits, as the assemblyman has said, the beam, as he put it, the beam, it hits the beam, and then there is back water to the community. That is why, under the Gary program, the railway bridge.
What is the Gary program?
The Gary program is, after the 2015 flood event, governments have been making the efforts, to do something about the situation, especially within the Odawna basin. This is why the problem is very critical. And so, not to start from the beginning, government contacted the World Bank for financial assistance and also technical assistance. And the World Bank responded favorably. And so since 2015, we've been working on the Odawna basin so that we address the problem. And at this stage, a project has been designed and christened the Gary project. That is the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Drainage Project. That project seeks to address the flooding issue within, especially from Caprice to the sea. It has other components, but since we are here, we want to just concentrate on this section. Under the Gary project, which is being funded by the World Bank, $200 million is being invested, though not only on this stretch, on other areas. $200 million World Bank has made available. Now, what is going to happen under the Gary program is that, number one, the Odawna channel from Caprice to the sea from next year is going to be dredged continuously, not on ad hoc basis. Once the project is awarded, the contract is awarded, you will see a contractor on the ground who will be desilting or dredging from Caprice to the sea continuously for 5 years. And then the program will be reviewed. If successful, if government is satisfied with the outcome, then it will be extended. So that is part one of the Gary project, which is going to take off next year. So you will not see the way we dredge the Odawna channel in an ad hoc manner. It's going to be continuous. Now, secondly, under the program, as I started talking about, it is identified that it has been 3 bridges have been identified as being contributors to the flooding situation. These 3 bridges are the railway bridge, the graphic road bridge, and the Bosokan bridge, because their levels are too low. And so, when there is a storm, what we say is a storm, when it rains heavily and the Odo is full, you will see that the surface is bubbling and the water level rises above even the wall of the Odo. And so when it happens like that, the wave hits the bridges and then there's backflow. And so under the Gary project, these 3 bridges will be reconstructed and be lifted so that we will not have the incidence of backflow into the community. So that's number 2. Under the same Gary project, the entrance, or the outfall as we call it, outfall to the sea, the bridge which connects to the sea, and then the breakwater structure, the stone structure as you see inside the sea. These 2 structures will be improved upon. The breakwater will be redesigned so that, as the assemblyman said, when it rains, when we have a high tide and then it rains, then there is a coincidence. Then there is backwater, or the sea flows into the channel. And so the Odo is not able to flow quickly into the sea. And so that project, which is going to design and reconstruct the breakwater effect structure, seeks to, stop the sea from intruding into the Korle Lagoon when there is high tide, or unnecessarily interfering with the flow of the Odo into the sea. And then secondly, you will notice that one of the cells of that bridge is always silted, blocked. When the structure is redesigned and constructed, that blockage, which comes as a result of the interference of the sea, will not happen again. So that cell will be open. And so there will be free flow of the Odo into the sea. That is number 3. And then number 4. Number 4 seeks to work on the, which is not here, but is connected to this place, on the Nima drain from the pedestrian market to the Hill Street, to the Mamobi Road. That entire stretch will be reconstructed, covered, and be realigned. And also, let me come back home again. What we started here in December 2019, a second phase has been awarded. So that's why you see the contractor coming back to site. This phase seeks to continue from where the contractor ended, and then to connect to the Odo. Now, we have designed it, as you rightly said. Currently, it enters at 90 degrees, but we have redesigned it so that it will curve and flow with the Odo, just as we did the market one. Those of you who have visited that place, yeah, we are coming to repeat the same thing here, so that this one will flow alongside with the Odo. And so this is the second phase, but this section is not going to be covered like this one because of maintenance issues, so that we'll be able to clean it as often as we can.
Apart from the World Bank funds, government has also provided funds, government of Ghana funds, to redesign the area that you explained. That when it comes, it hits the Odo and it pretends bad. But this time, they want to slant it, as you suggested. You are not an engineer, but you seem to know a lot about engineering.
So this is the Odo. This is the small drain flowing from the other side. This one, this orange one, also at 90 degrees into the Odo.
Yeah.
Now, this is the official, is it official town street? Yeah. Okay, this is the Presbyterian Church area. Now, this is where you are. So, this is the section that we have, this is the entrance, this is the bridge, the metal bridge, which we are going to change under this phase. So, this is here.
this is a section we have worked on up to here. And then we are continuing it up to here. As you can see, the existing one enters at 90 degrees. But we have turned it this way, to flow with, So we are going to continue. When we finish this session, we will continue in this direction. The idea is that because there's always a backflow from here, it flows at top speed, more than this one. It is rather that one which causes most of the damage. So what we have designed this one in a way that when we get here, we extend it to this place, and the odor flows back into this section. There will be a flow through this one, so that we can reduce the impact on this area. Because this one, its capacity is more than it should have been, because we wanted it to accommodate any backflow from the odor. So if there is a backflow from the odor, part of it will go through here and go back into the odor. We covered it because of 2-3 reasons. One, because we don't want you to dump anything into it. Number two, we realize that whenever the place is flooded, it is even difficult for you to escape. Because if you're not careful, you get drowned in an open drain. You remember that the existing one was open, a trapezoidal section. But we have redesigned this one, as you can see, so that we covered it, so that you can also have space to park your vehicles, because the open one limited your movement around the drain, and it was very difficult for you to maneuver around. So that's why we covered it. And so now the onus rests upon you to ensure, that we have provided metal gratings cover on the openings to ensure that nothing goes into it. It is very, very expensive maintaining a closed drain. Yeah. If it's heavily silted, we will not be able to dredge it. We have situations where we have to go and demolish the top in order to remove the material, but we hope that this will not happen here. So you have to help the Honorable Minister so that the good work he's doing here, he can continue to do. We'll extend it to the Presbyterian Church area so that the whole place will be fully served. Thank you.
I am Shabby Bra. Sabi, in Sue Twana, a year family. Every year for your cry. Into no more by no support to MP so. So the bear, your plans in idea for me. A bebum. Into if you are your professor city, we are not a Casa. My papa, you people, and I mentioned only have before you design it. We engineer. No, Odo River. Me wa Hassan Rollins here Odo River. Odo River kakraka we another one than chen you. Then chen Rollins dey because here dey need me pray mu a. Then one fen chen. Sa Odo River dey one chen you obi antim since Rollins time. O dey opa ekwa metro sa gota no. Dey o kan nyina nya sa na tie. Oh, nya wo chen. Say, eno kwa. Say no kwa. Anka dey o kan nyina ki issue ki nya problem. Dey kwa e ba me. Yen kwa na metro sa small gota na den chen no. Up to date from Rollins time. Obi antie no mu da. It is a kese ni ntimi kwa na ke ye dey na fa ke. Dey kwa e ba.
Asylum down. I wonder if you have about an extra 5 minutes to pass by and see the drain there that carries the solid waste and water from Nima that comes through and it eventually ends up here. That's another huge one, and that drain is actually collapsing.
I'm sure you're listening to the engineer. The problem here. Big part of the problem here is structure.
and requires some huge construction and re-engineering, which I've already indicated to you that government has secured funding for that project called the Greater Accra Resilient Integrated Development Project, which seeks to address the flood issues associated with the Odo River Basin. So that one is ongoing. Currently, we are in the process of hiring consultants and contractors. And per the plan, by December towards early next year, construction will start. There are other parts too that are not part of the World Bank project. That is part of the Government of Ghana National Flood Control Program, which is the one that the contractor, this is the contractor who has been giving that contract to do this part of the road. And this is also one causal effect of the flooding. And the engineer has explained to you that they have redesigned the area to make sure that the water flows with the main water channel here, so that there will not be a clash between two water, which will push back water to the community. So I think when all these construction works are done, we are pretty sure and confident that it's going to reduce drastically the flooding situation here.
I think if we look at what appears to be an integrated approach towards solving this problem, it is encouraging. At this point, the timeliness of the intervention is important because if the main structural intervention is next year, then we need an early intervention with regards to the dredging before the rains begin. And I'm glad the minister has indicated that that will be done, with a lot of urgency, because there are over 2,000 people who work in Odowna garages, and their livelihoods are affected every time it rains. And the fact that the minister is here, I think, is enough of an indication that there is a commitment to do this. So we will definitely be holding him to account. But my first visit to his ministry was about 3.5 weeks ago, where he called the technical team. We had a discussion, and he did indicate his commitment to come over here and have a look at the situation and ensure that what has to be done is actually followed through. So I think for today, what we'll say is thank you for the minister taking time out with the technocrats from his ministry to come and see the situation, to hear the executives of the Odowna garages out, because they have a clear understanding of what the situation is, even though they are not engineers. I think they've lived here long enough to see the pattern of what goes on every time it rains. And I think on behalf of the executives and myself, we'll say thank you to the minister and hope that there will be that timely intervention before the rains begin this year to protect their livelihoods and their lives as we enter in the rainy season. The bottom line is that the plastic waste that's entering the Odo Channel is not just from this constituency, it's from every other area that's upstream to us. So even with the best of intentions over here, if it's not a nationwide approach, then we'll be actually fighting a losing battle. There are laws in place with regards to the sanitation and waste disposal, and we must ensure that they're enforced. It's the only way. People must be made to account for their actions, and people should not be dumping waste. So I suppose the caution is, as we enter the rainy season, people should be mindful of how they discard their waste. And the subcontractors of waste disposal should not be dumping waste into our waterways, because a lot of complaints from the residents is that in the night when some of these contractors pick up waste from the neighborhood, they dump it into some of our waterways, which is not helping. So it's an appeal to every single individual, not just in Klottey, but also in other constituencies and communities, to just be mindful. The fact that you've dumped your waste into the drain and don't see it anymore does not mean it's not becoming an impediment or a hazardous risk to somebody else's life. Let's be mindful of one another, and let's throw away our rubbish in the right way.
Sometimes I can say that because you can look around, look at the cars over there. This car that you see there, they are come to dismantle all as a scraps. So after they dismantle all these things, some of the plastic things, the air blew it into the odor. And you see, the people too living around too, sometimes when we drink, the bottle things, they dump it, they put it on the floor. So as we put it on the floor, the air also blew it inside the odor. So I believe that what can make this thing to be solved, the white men, they have something, you see the machines, it is like a net that fetch the plastic from this in the water. But in Ghana here, you know that, I mean, it's like when something happened before you see people, I mean, talking about it.
Said me who in there, me and mammy, because since you talk a Caribbean, because of got animal seen into you talk a Caribbean, me honchray, the honchray probably, yes, best rabbi said, once no more, there be a moon me got animal mind. So me, my baby.
We are facing a lot of challenges over here, over that issue. Do you understand? Yeah, but we don't actually know what to do right now, because sometimes when you try to stop someone, it will turn into a fight or it will turn to something else. And when we go to the police station, they can even decide to take like 50 Ghana from the person and then leave the person. So you see, sometimes we just try and me, I've been fighting with them every day. You do understand? Yeah, when I find you squatting at the gutter, I can do you whatever I want. Yeah, because you are tired of reporting them here and there. Because sometimes when you report them, you even tend to be a bad person.
You see this water like this, right now it is going down. From 5:30 going, you see the water, I mean, you see it flowing back again. So as it go up, they can use the machine even to take all the plastic things from this in the water. But right now it's like nobody's buying anyone business. This 25 at first they used to come here to come and dig it. But right now I mean you will see anything, you yourself you can see.
You be run to be a bonfire say yes rabbi so me get and be kesi ni mind there. You should be na kwan akọ because so me we ni mind there be a ho kire yen.
98 there's no any flatted. It started from 1994. The flatted started. Well, formally, but then this gutter is not there. Even when you can even jump to the next adding. But what I see from 1994 coming upwards now, before the flatted started.
As for the Friday, you know, we all know that when it is rain season, it will happen. But I mean, the people, the authorities, you know, you are not seeing, you are not doing anything that can make the people, I mean, can make the rain to not overflow the people. You see, they leave everything. Right now, yesterday I saw that they came around. They shouldn't wait for only yesterday. This is supposed to be, they're supposed to start digging this thing before they start pulling all this mess. But for a long time, they don't come here because at first you see even the machine is like a boat. You see on the water, digging this thing. But for now, there you will see anything. Nothing.
Me now, what I can see right now is we are after this bridge, this railway bridge, you know. When it rains heavily, we could see that the rain was forcing, and when it come attach the bridge, then the water started to flowing all over. So all the time we come and stand behind the gutter and see when the thing got into the bridge, then we all scattered. Everybody was taking his car around. So I could see that this bridge, it was now very down. So when they raise it, like how they make graphic, it will be better. Because the force that come now is not easy. So all the time I'm thinking, I'm playing that they should come and see the railway line and raise the gutter. When they raise it, I don't think the floods will come more than.
So when it rains and it floods, what will you do?
I have something that know how to swim well. Those people who doesn't know how to swim well, I mean, that one they get to answer their own questions. But it is the leader that they get to do the something. I know that we too, we are also among of this rubbish that flow into this thing. But as we all know that this thing, when it happens, it costs the government. So the government too also have to, I mean, to move before a bad thing happen. You see, they have to come and dig it.
I've been here, even 95 I was here.
And how many floodings have you experienced?
Oh, I can't count them. More than 10 times. Yeah, I've been here. I schooled in Adabaka Presby. I've been here since childhood.
We know say every year the rain flood for years. So every June, July we make preparation for ourselves.
So you personally, what?
Me personally, I know say by all means. So here go flood. So if I get car for shopping, say I know say that time there I no take any car for any my customer side. You understand? Yeah, that one be my preparation.
To swim, I also swim there. If you don't know how to swim, then you got to go to the this in there. Let me see. If it is swimming pool that you can go and learn this swimming, that one too can help. Because when this place is full, when it is full, I can. Even when I fall into this thing, I can swim to the end. It is someone that I'm just blagging. Yes. So I can tell my people that, I mean, the best thing, we shouldn't dump all these plastic things on the floor, because whenever we put it on the floor, it will, because whenever this water is full, you see all this bridge, then this thing cannot go. Then before you see, this water will start spreading to the other side. Then before you know, it got all this bridge. Whenever it's full, if we wipe all the cars. So this is what I want the government to do. The government will have to start and do something so that all this thing will stop, so that all of us will have peace. Because if you say, if government say, or if it doesn't want the government to sleep, we cannot sleep.
All this is like we see that is from the top. Odawna here, they have beat a gong, and then we have those who collected the refuse and others. So nobody puts a refuse behind the Odo River or something like that. So when you are standing here and when it rains, we saw a lot of refuse coming from the top, descending to the top. So when the rains come up and touches the tunnel, all this place became scattered. That's how I can see about it.
If you are here, you just prepare for the flood. You need to raise your land. You understand? That's actually what I'm doing right here. I'm doing something so that when the flood comes, I can escape. Yeah. So we are just prepared for it. That's all. Because as for the gutter, when they do this thing, about 1 month, 2 months, it will get full up again with the rubbish.
The fact that we don't know the place where the fridge and the rubbers come from. Always, if the rain come here, it come plenty. You don't know the place where the thing come from. So we always we make our preparation for ourselves. Say, if the rain flood there, always for carry our what you call it, our goods and our particulars and our tops, everything. You understand? Yeah.
We have to take all the cars, the important ones that I could see that there are important cars. We have to take all to Odawna top there. So when it rains, it doesn't have, because other than that, the rain, no matter you are, the rain, it will come and flood it.
We got some storing bed for here. If the flood here we call here protein. Yeah, so if the flood come, we are all going to stand for the storing bed top. So if they make the rain come there, always, every day, we make ourselves say for go stay for the storing bed top. So if the rain come there, say that place will be our place. You understand? So we not get any place to go stay.
I actually support the regional minister for what he did recently. You understand? Yeah, because those around the gutter, they've been, especially those people buying the scraps, and when they buy the scraps, when they burn them, all the rubbishes goes into the river. So I support him. Yeah. So we pray that all those people that will follow him will do the same.